Hello. How you doing? I'm Max, MXV. How's everyone doing on this nice Wednesday or evening now? Track playing in the background is from my new EP, just released today on Anjunadeep Explorations. Super happy to finally share this with you. I was hoping today we could have a look at the track and the other tracks on the EP as well. There's 4 tunes and we'll try and get through them all. Have a look at the tracks themselves in Ableton, some of the elements that make them up as well. But yeah, I think I can see the chat, I'm not 100% sure though. It's currently in the background, it is the title track called Sleepwalkers City. This is kind of a real long melodic progressive journey. Hey Tom. Thanks for confirming the chat is working. But yeah, I'm just going to let the track play for a bit until we've got some people along for the journey. I have been setting up Streamlabs today on Twitch, so fingers crossed everything's going to work alright for this. But looking forward to sharing my process with you guys. This track was actually made on a balcony of all places. I was on holiday in Italy, in Milan, and yeah, I was basically chilling. We had a great time. I was out with La, a fellow Anjuna boy, but we had a little trip out with our girlfriends, and we went to Milan for only a few days actually, but it was super nice. Just chilled, and we did a lot of exploring. Took a car and drove around, saw the lakes, saw Lake Como, Lake Garda, and yeah, it was a really nice time. And then one of the mornings, I think maybe after a few drinks, I woke up quite early, as I tend to do after drinking, and just kind of whacked down some chords. I think this tune started with these plucks basically. It was super early in the morning, like we're talking like 6 whatever a.m. Speak of the devil, there's La himself. Yeah, so these plucks that you can hear playing right now, I think is where this track started. And ironically, they're called Anjuna chord pluck. So yeah, pretty sure these were done in Prophet, because we were speaking about Prophet like a lot. So I was getting super excited by the synth basically. Yeah, I made this little patch using just literally the default, which I don't do that much to be honest. But it came, like, you can make some cracking plucks in the synth. So yeah, just got a nice, really basic sound going. Feed that into RC20 here, which is really cool, just for adding a little bit of noise and just like disturbing the pitch really, which I'm using wobble there. The wobble is really cool. And then the distortion is great as well, just adds a bit of Saturation kind of slams the dynamics, keeps it all nice and tight. Even using the reverb here, which is cool. And then a little bit of magnetic, which kind of just adds some dropouts, really. It's an interesting thing. Question from Tom. My favorite track from the EP? It's a good question, man. I don't really know. Potentially, I like Grains of Sand because it's super basic. There's like, you'll see later on, but there's not that many layers to it. And I think that there's something beautiful about the simplicity of it. But I also really like the title track, Sleepwalkers City, because it just it holds a special kind of place in my heart from the way it came together, and the feeling it gives me. And then kind of the journey of producing it was quite a long one, and it was an enjoyable one. Sometimes tracks can get a bit stressful, but this one was a fun one. And I like the way it captures kind of the essence of that moment on that balcony. I'm guessing, Matt, you're asking who's my biggest inspiration, my biggest inspection, yeah? Obviously you. Nah, my biggest inspiration, that's a good question. There's so many out there. There's so many. I think originally, and you're probably going to be like, why? But originally it was Tiesto. Not obviously the modern day output from Tiesto, but his first sort of album. I was around 16 or so, and his first album called In My Memory came out, and I watched and I heard that, and at the time I hadn't really heard much other dance music, and I remember it started with like a crazy string piece. It was really beautiful, and that track sort of captivated me and showed me dance music, I guess. And I was quite young at that point. I was probably like 12, maybe younger, and that really like opened my eyes to dance music and inspired me to try and learn how to make it as well. But then I guess through that journey, these days it's hard to say who's inspiring me, because I listen to a lot of different music at the moment, and have a look at what I've been listening to recently. I'm a big fan of obviously all the Anjuna artists. Resident, Cree is a big one. Loving Cree's output. Guy J has been a big inspiration for me as well when I'm making more of the progressive stuff. I used to make more progressive music, but these days it's melodic. Don't know what you would call it. Breakbeat is obviously a big part of my sound. I love Bicep. Bicep have been probably one of my main breakbeat inspirations, as well as Braxton. I'm really loving the new Ryan Davis stuff that's just come out on Anjuna as well. That's really dope. Claire's new EP was super dope on the Explorations label. And yeah, me, La and Bound to Divide speak very closely, and we're always sharing music with each other, which is cool. So we inspire each other, I think. But yeah, looking at this track then, I guess we could start breaking down the elements and having a listen to what makes it what it is. Starting right at the top there with the kick. So I tend to use Vengeance quite a bit for my drums. I think they're overlooked in the sample world. They're pretty old school, to be honest, pretty old school. But they have some great sounds, and this one's the Deep House pack from Vengeance. This kick I've added a bit of EQ just to take down the sort of boxy area, and then I think this is the clicky area just above 1K. So just on the EQ there, taming it a little bit. I am compressing it quite a bit there. Usually no more than sort of 2-3 dBs on the compressor. I use a utility. I think in this instance it's just being used to sort of gain the volume across the track. So in the intro it was lower, and then it kind of hits mainly around back up to 0 dB when the track comes in, just to give it a bit more tension. There's some more EQ. This EQ is done in Pro Q this time, which I'm not sure why I particularly chose Pro Q, but this is an amazing EQ. I'm sure you've all seen it, but it does the job. Then there's even a little bit of EQ from this Air EQ, which is Eosis, I think you say it. This is a great EQ, kind of as a finishing. It has a bit of color to it. It's more of a, it's got a bit of saturation to it, so it can add some color. It's a nice color EQ. And that's the kick really. It's really basic. Try not to overcomplicate things. Bass is comprised of, I think, 3 main layers at least. You can hear it's sidechained there. I put the sidechain on the main bus as well. The main element from the bass is this pluck, this SH2 bass line. This is a sound I borrowed from one of Marsh's videos. It's actually, yeah, I copied the settings as closely as I could, and it's a great patch, man. I've then put a bit of satin on it. Nothing special here. I mean, it's just doing a warm tape with around 40% drive, just to really just glue it together, really. I'm using a bit of EQ to take out some boxy. I'm actually on the wrong sound. Sorry about that. No, this is the SH2, and then we're into the glue compressor. Really only touching it a tiny bit there, maybe 1 or 2 dBs. This compressor is not doing anything, as you can see. A little bit taking down the loads there, just to make sure it's not too boomy, because this bass is big. It is a chunky one. Then I'm using the Mani D, which will, again, it kind of takes out the boxiness of it. So I get scooping it around 200, but it does its own sort of effect. Really cool plugin. Makes it almost sound a little plasticky, but not too much. I always try and put a little respace in as well, so created this respace in Serum, and it's my classic sync bass, which basically you use the sync window option to kind of dial in this Reese sound. It's a slightly different method. Then you use the unison to detune it, so you up it to 2 voices. You get a really kind of UK sounding Reese, which I love. Not much processing on this one, just again, take out all that mid-range frequency, chill it out. And then the kind of interesting layer on this bass is, it has this M1, just absolutely raw, kind of like muted guitar sound. Which you probably just, you kind of feel it more than hear it. It just kind of fills the space. Just sits on top of it all there. Then the bus or the group, so I group all these sounds up. This Serum here is just literally a sub. Just use it in the breakdowns to fatten up the vibe, really. Just comes in under there. So that's pretty much that. And yeah, I just compress everything just to gel all the sounds together, make sure they're not going too crazy dynamically. And then as an extra safe measure, use a Pro Owl just to absolutely whack it, basically. It makes mixing down so much easier. And a little tip I got taught not longer actually, on one of these streams, was holding Alt when you adjust the gain, you can go up and down, which is dope. And that will basically, as you come up with if you hold Alt or you adjust the gain, it turns down the output, so you kind of get it perfectly set, which is, you don't get any gain basically as you're increasing the compression, which is a super useful tip, I think. I use duck for sidechain, so I'm sending the kick into this using just the sidechain functionality here, and then use duck to kind of dial in the exact curve. So now looking at the drums. Again, I think the main sound is coming from a Vengeance. I've got a Vengeance loop here. What I tend to do when I build drums is get a load of loops together and then add additional hits to them to kind of make them more unique. What's up, LGU? Yo, yo. But yeah, processed it a bit. Got some EQ on there, some soothe on everything. Love soothe. Taking out a bit of harshness again. Then I've got a transient master, which is cool plugin. Just tightening it up because the tails were really long on it. Because it's audio, I tried various different ways to fix it, and actually just the transient master really worked. Big love Luca. Yeah, that's that loop, and then let's just go back into the drum bus. So that's like the full drums hitting there. I found this kind of like, felt very tribally to me, this loop. I thought it was quite unique. Didn't do too much processing again. I think the transient master was really slammed here with the sustain. EQ wise, there was some ringing, I think, from that bell, that quite high bell. I guess if we take it off, yeah, you can hear it's quite loud. So adding that really helped bring that into a better space. So those two loops were the first things to build up. You get quite a chunky sound there. Then I'm dressing this up really with like this hat. Again, it's a Vengeance hat. There's really no processing on that. This ride, just a splashy kind of 909 ride, adds all the air, which is dope. Really brings the track alive. Again, just a 909 hat there, open hat. Got a nice tight clap from Vengeance. One of the things in Ableton I like to do is drop down the sustain. So when the sample loads by default, it's open. So that's the sample without like any envelope editing, but you take the sustain down, makes the sound so much more modern, just tighter. Underneath all that, I've got a shaker loop. Just adds a little bit of shaker detail. Quite a nice kind of egg shaker. Then I've added this little percussion hit. Just doing a few little notes in MIDI. Kind of triggers at the end of every bar or so, every 8 bars. Just keeps it moving, keeps the groove alive. I am using a groove from Ableton, using the Swing 1654, I think. It's actually on 100% timing, and that's applied to basically everything in the playlist, which gives it a certain swing. I could take the groove off, and you can hear what that's doing. So that's off. It's quite subtle actually, but it adds a swing. Moving into the music group now. It's kind of the first thing was this plug. Again, I think we're in Profit for this one. Little Profit pluck. A nice detuned one. The DeMarco preset. I think I just modulated the filter, took that down. On this kind of 16th note driving rhythm. Helps keep the track like sort of driving along. Here we've got the chords. That's just in Labs. Just a Lab soft piano. I'm using a grain delay for some sort of some details every now and then. I think it's automated. Going into a room reverb from Valhalla. Absolutely love the Valhalla reverbs and delays. Use those a lot. It's no secret to the producers out there anymore. Bit of compression to kind of squash the reverb and really bring out the tails. Just using the glue compressor, and then a low cut just to take out any of that noisy, bassy stuff. This is one of my favourite sounds from the track. One of the first sounds. Just this super dope plug from the Prophet. Went over this sound at the start actually, so we'll skip this. I've got this string layer which comes in later on in the track. The strings are from, I think, Spitfire. Yeah, intimate strings. They're really cool. Natural sounding strings. And then this is like the main lead. The main lead is made up of a lot of different layers. It started off just with so I've got this little Hive arpeggiator. This is Ableton Live, yeah, mate. Welcome, Patrick PSP. This is actually Ableton Live, I think 10. I made these tracks in Ableton Live 10. But this is I think the default ARP. This is literally the default patch in Hive, which is Yuhi synth. Then got another Hive layer here. This was where the lead started. So I had this layer. I think I sent it to the guys at Anjuna, and they basically said it needs more beef. It needs more kind of presence, because I had just this layer. It sounded cool, but it needed something else to take it to the next level. Let's hear that coming in. So if we take out the elements that I added, yo, bound to divide. Jules, what's up? So yeah, without the elements I added, it was quite thin, and then I added these Omnisphere layers, which I love to do to try and bring a bit of organic sound to things that are quite synthy. So this Omnisphere is, I think the first one is like a flute sound. Yeah, it's called Care About Flutes. Just copied the MIDI and then explored some presets. And then the second layer, the funny thing is I think I added this by mistake, but it sounded so cool I was like, oh, it can stay, you know. The worst choice of skins. I don't know, I've seen some of your Diva skins, man. Questionable. Do you not like my Ableton Live skin? I add in this like Jupiter layer as well. The Jupiter 8. I think this is the Arturia one. Kind of makes it sing a bit, which I love. And we've got, what's this, kind of like just arpeggiated. I'm using the arpeggiator in Ableton here. Just doing like an eighth note kind of. What we got? Using the OBX. Another one of my really, really beloved synths. Bit of delay. Just chopping off the lows on that. But yeah, it's quite a chunky layer of a lead, like to make it really powerful. Do I have a group? I don't have a group for them all. But yeah, you can see it's like really quite... Do you want me to change the skin? Is that what you're saying? Is it offending? Is it offending you? What about like literally the default one? That keep people happy. Got a little arpeggiator. Again, this is another layer in Omnisphere. The bowed kalimba drum. I love these kind of really weird, interesting soundscapes that you can get in Omnisphere. That kind of sits behind and adds like a Christmassy feel to it. Got this super cool pad in Omnisphere. Wicked like pitch bends on it. Patch is called Cream of Emotion 2. The CS80, of course. Making CS80 noises. This sound here is cool, I love this. It's kind of become my little signature sound now. You can just hear it in the background, like making crazy spacey alien noises. I'm doing that actually with the mod wheel. Automating the mod wheel in envelopes under modulation wheel here. So this is where that's happening. It's kind of creating that pitch movement. So on a sync, so the LFO is synced, makes those screechy noises. It was a bit more open there. It's super dope. Like you have to get it in tune with the track, but it's worth the little bit of effort to get it there. The vocals now. So this track's got like a cool, really weird kind of vocal. To be honest, I'd like to tell you that I found this sample off a record somewhere, but it's obviously just a splice vocal, which I then just treated, gave it a lot of processing, try and make it sound a bit cool. But it's really dope because it kind of just sat behind the tune so perfectly. And, you know, I do tend to have a little flick through splice, see if I can find anything that works, and 9 times out of 10 it doesn't work. But this is the 1 out of 10 time where I found a piece of gold, and I'd not really heard a single other track using it, so it is an interesting vocal sample. It kind of says "Be my love, be my only." To take up all the processing. I just sidechained it there. This riff I'm using to do like the gated effect. It's got a really, really cool envelope in it. The filter just uses standard low pass. Got a bit of compression. Soothe just controls all the weird noises. It's like a resonance suppressor basically. Into Replica, which kind of gives it that panning left and right. It's the delay. Opens the sound up, makes it super epic. Then just some control on EQ. But the real magic of this comes from automating that get the gate basically. And kind of swapping between just normal straight vocal and then having it come in with gated sounds. So I think it's cool to just alternate between those. That's the main vocal element of the tune, and I'm just kind of filtering it in and out, using it sparingly to try and create moments of epicness. I think. What we got? There's also a little bit of little pluck here. Just gonna have a drink of water. So yeah, this is a 7th note pluck thin. It's called Thin Air. Repro 1 again. Big fan of the Yuhi synths. Compressing that one. Bit of EQ to tidy it up. Got the replica again. Really, really, really cool delay. And just, I think when I open up the filter in some parts I get some resonance, so just addressing those with Pro Q3. Few effects things, just whooshes and just pretty like dressing it up basically. Got a bit of a snare roll in the build here. I just tend to use this 909 snare. Automate the filter, open up the cutoff. Just a bit of EQ just to make it pop. Hey, Anjuna Treasure. What's up, man? So yeah, that's pretty much it for this tune. It's the opening track of the EP, it's the title track of the EP. It's an epic journey. Called Sleepwalker City. Yeah, hopefully you guys learned something, or at least got to see behind the curtain on that one. One of those that came together super quick, but then I spent quite a long time refining it and just tweaking it. Hey, Arnie Way. Good to see you, man. Anjuna Treasures, just passing through and saw you here. Stopped by to say hello. Love the track. Thanks, bro. Appreciate that, man. So I'm going to hop over to another tune from the... Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, La. I thought you would. You've learned everything from me, haven't you? Let's see then. So I think we'll move through to a track called Through the Porthole, which is, I'm not going to save the changes on that one. Hopefully we don't get any crashes when this loads. So the second track on the EP is called Temptations. There's 4 tunes. Sleepwalker City, Temptations, Grains of Sand, and Through the Porthole. Temptations is actually a tune I wrote for Basic Waves, who is in the chat, I believe. Bound to Divide's YouTube channel. So the breakdown of that is actually all on his YouTube channel. So I'm not going to go through that one today on this stream, because you can basically watch that there. Maybe at the end we can flash it up if there's some time left. Yeah, I know, man. Crazy. The kick pattern just is out there. It's proper out there. This tune is like a proper clubby roller. I made this one actually on the plane home from Italy, so very closely connected to the first tracks, Sleepwalker City. So this was made on the plane home from that holiday, hence the name Through the Porthole. I love making tracks on planes because it's just dead time. Sometimes you've got a bit of energy, like it's not a late flight and you can be a bit productive, try and make something. And I think because you've got like the a crazy atmosphere in a plane, right? It's like super loud. You've got this white noise like attacking your ears. You've obviously got people all around you, which is a different sort of space to be in. Kind of puts you on show a bit. And yeah, then I think there's something about making music on planes which is different, at least for me, because of that noise, that white noise. And sometimes I try and sample it and incorporate it into the track, but it doesn't really work. But I think I will make it work at one point. But yeah, this tune was just whacked together really, really quickly on a plane, basically. And it was one of those that didn't need much mixing. There's probably some questionable mixing decisions because of the environment that this track was made in, but they kind of work, I think. It's yeah, I'll play the tune for you guys and you can have a listen, and then we can take a look at what's happening. I'm going to skip it through to here. It's a very progressive, hypnotic journey. Thanks to Non-Rabbit 99. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words there. I don't know about that. Big shoes to fill. I'm going to try and get the chat on the stream. I just realised it's not showing up, which is my bad. This is Ableton Live, mate. I'm hoping your comments will appear on the screen, although they don't seem to be. A Logic user. I've never used Logic actually. I used to use FL Studio for a long time. It's always good to abuse a door. Yeah, no, Logic's great for vocals. A lot of vocalists sing very highly of Logic. It's got a nice kind of comping functionality, I think. I've seen people use it. Ableton's dope, man. I used to use FL, moved over, didn't really look back, to be honest. Give it a go. I think you can get the demo for free, I think, for 30 days, so it's worth giving it a go. Just test it out, see how you feel. They do, right? Get that affiliate link. But yeah, this the kick on this tune is super boomy. It's a Vengeance kick again. Love a Vengeance kick. I'm EQing boom out of it a bit. This is more the boxy range, the 200 hertz. And then the click as well, just toning the click down a bit. Bit of compression, 2-3 dBs. More EQ. Really kind of dampening it, I think. Well, you can come and watch the video back and hopefully learn some stuff. I'll try and go as quick as I can. But yeah, the kick I think is quite cool on this tune because it's super heavy. If you watch on the visualization, you can kind of hear, you can see, sorry, the black kind of consistent hits there. That's the kick drum. And you can see it hitting up on the EQ there around -5. Bassline is this sort of repeating, driving. Thanks, mate. I would love to do that. I'd love to do that. This is an Audio Tent patch. My job is so demanding at the moment. It's intense. But yeah, I'm sort of automating the cutoff there to make those movements where you can hear the cutoff opening up. Take the sidechain is linked to the kick, so when the kick stops, like it breathes a bit more, the bass breathes. You can hear it. This is I'm breaking down the new EP. I just released this EP, guys, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed or seen, but it's on Anjunadeep Explorations. It's called Sleepwalkers City. And the track we're looking at right now is called Through the Porthole. So this one came out on it came out today. So maybe it's sounding unknown at the moment. But yeah, hopefully you guys can have a look at this. This channel is the label, yeah. This channel is the label. I'm doing a promotion stream / breakdown for the release. Yeah, check out the EP. Then hopefully this will make more sense, but I'm hoping this video will be available somewhere after that so you guys can watch it. But yeah, this we're looking at Through the Porthole. We did look at Sleepwalker City before, which is the title track. And then we'll check out Grains of Sand after. And then Temptations, we'll look at it last briefly. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we're looking at. The tunes on this EP. It's been many months of work. So it's cool to actually share this with you guys and experience your reactions to it, which is dope. Brains Phoenix says alien dance. Yeah, it's pretty alien-y, to be honest. I think that the synths make it just crazy. I love creating mad sort of atmospheres with synthesizers. It's one of my favorite things to do. DJ Javoni, love your new tracks, MXV. Appreciate that. Appreciate that a lot. Yeah, to be honest, I had to set up a whole new. Let me just chuck in some alert boxes here. I've tried to set up as much as I can. I'm just adding all of them right now. Okay, so the alert box should be up and running. Yeah, to be honest, I stream on YouTube a lot more than I do on Twitch. I need to start streaming on Twitch though. I've hopefully set up the alert box. For some reason, the chat messages are just not showing up either. I'm trying not to bore you too much with me twiddling around with that. Let's play the tune. So yeah, the bass is 2 layers actually. It's got that same respace that I mentioned. I love to use the sync res as well, yeah. So that kind of just sits below everything. All the lows are taken out of it because I like the lows that this was given. So I wanted to take the lows from that. And kind of, yeah, it just gels it together, the respace. Adds a consistent frequency the whole way through and makes it really punch. Then I'm doing a bit of compression, and EQ is doing nothing. Then I've got a sidechain compressor just linked to the kick to make it bounce, basically. Yay, look, it worked. The alert box works. Just need to sort the chat out now. It's there. For some reason it's just not linked to the chat, which is sad. Sad. Oh, it's showing up. The chat is showing up. The chat is showing up. I'm happy. I'm happy. Cool. The boomer has figured it out. Now your messages are going to appear on the screen. Oh, that's good. I'm happy now. Yeah, this is the drum bus. All the drums. Got some hi-hats. Got these loops from PML, which are really nice. Shout out to PML. This one is kind of like the main driving sound in the tune. Without this EQ, you can see how boomy it is. I'll use that EQ just to absolutely roll off all the lows. Got this little shaker loop as well. PML's got some really cool sounds, so I highly recommend checking them out. Might move the chat just over a smidge or down. Then I add these little accents. I've got like a kind of guava sound there. Actually called a frog. Maybe it is a frog. But yeah, it kind of just hits on the offbeat. Adds a bit of life to the drums. You can hear it in the background. Then I've got these toms. And they kind of just add a bit of uniqueness to the groove, because I don't want to rely solely on the loops. Like I said, I like to kind of use loops and then dress them up with additional sounds just to make them more unique. So I'm using those toms there to do that. Not much going on, just mainly EQ to keep them in check. Again, just a bit of EQ. I'm side chaining the kick to the toms as well. They were clashing, and the bit of sidechain just sorted that out. So don't be afraid to just sidechain to whatever you need to, really. And then yeah, the music on this tune. So it's mainly just a lot of automation and a few synths. So the synths I've been using are the Repro. This one's the Repro 5. Really love this synth. Again, it's a Yuhi synth. It's an emulation of the Prophet 5 from Sequential, the old 80s synth. So it has a super nice sort of tone to it, retro feel. But you can also make it quite modern sounding as well. It's been modernized, which is cool. That's running into quite a few effects. I've got this one from Arturia called Refract. So if I take these off, you can hear what they're doing one by one as we add them. But that's the sound just straight out the synthesizer. Then I add the Refract. If you've got headphones on, you'll hear like it adds a lot of space to the track, or the synth. Basically splits it up. Don't quite know what it does, but it adds like a unison voices effect and then a bit of distortion. I then run that into Replica, which is the delay. It's on an 8th note dotted. Creates a super like spacey. And you can hear I'm just automating this, how it's getting more intense. I'm just turning up this cutoff basically. Enables you to control the sort of tension. Rolling that into heavy compression, over 5 dBs. Just a bit of soothe. Then just chop off the low end with the EQ. Cole Fox is currently playing your new track Temptations, says DJ Giovanni. That's super cool. Would you look at that? Is he also streaming on Twitch? It's great to see, man. Awesome, man. I'll have to check that out. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. These are the pads. Again, coming from Repro. Just opening up the cutoff. Bit of EQ just to tidy it up, not too much. The sidechain you can hear is actually on the whole music group. So all these synths get put into this one music group, and then I sidechain that group to the kick. Then I've got below that, I've just got some piano following the same notes as the pads there. Rains Phoenix says, never heard of Repro. Yeah, you should definitely check Repro out. It's one of my absolute favourites at the moment. That's just the Labs piano, soft piano. Super nice. Again, just a bit of Valhalla Room. Bit of EQ just to tidy it up, and then I use the auto filter just to, there you can hear it gets softer. Just use the filter there to dampen it. The first half of the tune, the piano's playing, and then the pad comes in, and then the piano kind of just fades out, and it becomes a synthy madness. Yo, Chronic, it's hungry. Love the chords of the soft piano. Cheers, man. I think they're just like seventh notes or thirds. There they are. Super straight. Don't need to be too complicated. I then also follow in the second half of the tune with some strings. I think I add this top note. So it's the same chords, but I just add this sustained A there. It adds that tension. Just recap where we are. You can hear the re-space there. They're all kind of following the same notes as the chords. So the chords are kind of your bass, and then you add onto it. I add these little notes to transition the bass line a bit, make it come alive a bit more. And this is where the lead comes in. So contrary to the last track, which has like 5 layers, this is just a single synth. So again, it's in Repro. So all the synths are in Repro for this track. So you can just hear the lead coming in using the cutoff. Drops super minimal. This was probably written looking out the window of the airplane, going over the mountains. There's the sound on its own there. Bit of a low cut to start off, and then a bit more EQ, taking out some of that harshness around 1-2K. The replica, mainstay, delay pedal. Just adds that stereo sort of. Yo, Introverted Twitch is now following. Big ups. Got a compressor there, just compressing the delay, smashing it. Bit of colour from RC20, wobble and distort, doing its thing. And you've got a EQ8, just dropping out the mid-range there a bit, create some space. But that's the lead sound there on this tune. So yeah, that's Through the Porthole. Sounds from the airplane. Thanks, Rains Phoenix. Cheers, the Inch. Hope I said that right. Chronic is hungry. Appreciate it, man. If you want to start making this kind of music, I recommend using Ableton Live. There's so many tutorials out there. I also offer tutorials as well on my YouTube channel. Just a little plug there. But yeah, if you search MXV on YouTube, you should find it. But yeah, Ableton is a great tool to be making dance music these days. There's plenty out there though. Quick Google search will get you there. So yeah, this is kind of the most, I'd say this is the most like late night dance floor, you know, it's getting into sort of the witching hours. You want to whip up the dance floor into a frenzy. This tune is the one on the EP, I think, which would do that. Super hypnotic. Fun little fact, there's no swoops or white noise or any of that in this track, which I think is quite cool. I always tend to rely on white noise and stuff. It's better when you get a recommendation. Yeah, bro. Well, if you can consider me a pro, I appreciate that. But yeah, go with Ableton Live. It's a great choice. Honestly, it's what we're using here, and you can hear the results. You do need to get some synths, but again, you don't. Like the Ableton Live synths are cracking. The analog, and they've got some new ones as well. Some really, really cool sounds you can get out of this software. There is also FL Studio, there's Logic, Studio One, there's Cubase. Yeah, but I think Ableton Live is probably the most user friendly out of them all. It's the easiest to get going. Okay, well that was Through the Porthole. A look at how that came together. Let's look at Grains of Sand, which is, again, this is a really, really, really simple tune in terms of production. This track was specifically made after I watched June, the films. I watched June 1 and 2 in one weekend when June 2 came out. I hadn't seen June 1, so I was a little bit behind the curve there. Didn't realize what I was missing out on. Such a cool film. Like, it really blew me away. Like, just the way it's shot, the premise of it, proper epic vibes, which I'm into. So yeah, I got to watch both of them in one weekend. Needless to say, that inspired me. So we came to Grains of Sand, which on the EP is track 3. So it's track 3 on the EP. It's the first and, well, it's the only breakbeat track which is featuring on the EP as well. It's a really, really simple composition, and it relies heavily on the arrangement of the track to kind of keep it moving. Utrolic, he says, I hecking love breakbeats. Yeah, man, I'm big into breakbeats. Love them as well. A lot of my releases have been breakbeat over the years. You can check them out on my Spotify, MXV on Spotify. But yeah, this is quite a chilled breaks tune. relies heavily on like the chord progression, the arrangement, and the melody. So let's have a listen to this, and then we can check out kind of what's happening. Yo, Mrs. Yori, welcome. I know what you mean, you trolley. I'm drawn to nostalgic things. Nintendo 64 is up there as well for me. Bit of GoldenEye. Yeah, I think it's a soothing tune. Hey, thanks Jesse CDXX. So yeah, it's quite a short and sweet, soothing tune. I did the radio or the edit version. Are you playing the mastered version? No, this is the mastered version, yeah. I mastered all the tunes in the sessions. If it's sounding a little quiet, I had to dip the volume so you can actually hear me speaking. But the masters are, that's the master chain there. I can go through the master chain if you're interested in that. Might be a bit intense, but I can show you. So yeah, the tune's really, really simple. I think it's got 13 tracks in Ableton, which I think is maybe a record for me, to be honest. Don't think that one's even used. No, that one's not even used. So we're looking at 12 tracks. Yeah, the main lead, I think it's got a crystallizer that's doing that. Yeah, it's crystallizer, which is the reverse shenanigans you're referring to. It's a really cool like recycling plugin does some cool sound effects. But the sound itself is coming out of Omnisphere. The preset's called Hollow Stones. Actually, the sound of a stone being what's it say? Created by rubbing the edge of a big church bell with a stone. So you get that kind of stony texture, I guess. Such a cool sound. And that's mixed then with the CS80 sine waves just to really give it some punch. Hey, Yono. How you doing? Yeah, I'd say Omnisphere is one of my favorite. If I had to pick any plugin that I'd kind of like my desert island plugin, it would probably be Omnisphere. It can do everything. Ah, it's your curry. Hey, what's up? But yeah, the main lead's got a bit of processing on. Mainly decapitator to give it some grit. You can kind of hear that like gritty sound in the background. Crystallizer for the super cool delay stuff, like reverse delay. Compressing all that stuff together just to get that consistent level. I'm sidechaining to the kick. And I've got some soothe, just taming down those sort of mid-range frequencies. Bit of filtering to basically transition the track, help with the arrangement. And just to finally just some cleaning up with the low ends. But that's that main lead sound. Just one of those moments where you find the perfect sound. And yeah, it's just the mystery of production. The chords here coming again from Labs piano. Quite a lot of reverb on them. I'm actually getting that reverb out of Fragments, which is a super nice grain. I think it's a grain delay or a grain effect, if you want to call it that. Can do lots of different stuff, but it's great for kind of spacey, atmospheric stuff. Recommend that one. Without it, very dry. Still beautiful because the soft piano is beautiful, but with it you just get all that depth. Yeah, anime, right? Anime. I thought that too. Bit of EQ. That's it really. The filter is just used to arrange it and just transition. I think I started the tune with this piano, and then I was looking for something to complement the piano. So I was scrolling through Contact, just trying to find something that was like weird and interesting, and I found this loop, and I can't necessarily remember exactly where this loop came from, but it was I think it's like the West India, or it could have been Shimmer Shake Strike, which is a kind of shaker library, and you can build like shaker loops. But ultimately got this. It's kind of like got a wooden glockenspiel sound in the background. And I was listening to that with the piano. Deciding kind of where to go with that. Really, really happy with it, and sadly rendered it out, froze it. So I don't have the actual preset, I just got the audio. But I thought that was cool, that was unique. I got something there. So now I'll try and add a bass line. What else but a massive respace. And that's coming from SH2 this time, so not Serum. We're moving away from Serum for this one. We're using the Roland SH2. It's on the Roland Cloud. It's chunky synth, that one. The little clicks you can hear are coming from the sidechain. You won't hear those like in the mix, but on its own you do hear a few pops. And then that's kind of the main elements. Obviously the drums on top. Hey, bossomt. Hope I've said that right. The drums are minimal. Kick is doing this groove, so I've got MIDI down, doing quite a nice little groove. Then I've got simply a house loop from Vengeance Central House. Just kind of rolling around like that. And then I add this kind of super delayed sound. Sorry, reverbed out. Just snare hit. It's going into, I believe, yeah, it's going into my shimmer return. I'm using a return channel and I'm using Valhalla Shimmer to create the super epic space on that. Then got this little groove with this rim shot. So that sort of super garagey UK rim shot sound ties it all together. So nothing's been added so far. It's just rolling with those same elements. Get a drill rapper over the top. To be fair, it could be a nice little vibe. It's not really the feeling I'm going for though. Take notes, people. He's using all the good stuff. years of figuring it out, just sharing it with you. Yeah, I got the strings behind there. It's coming again from Intimate Strings. You can see across the EP we've got all the same strings, same pianos. Kind of creates a coherent vibe across the EP. Yeah, this track's relying heavily on the automation, the arrangement to keep things interesting. Doesn't get too boring. Show the MIDI for the lead there. Got a video on my YouTube, to my Instagram channel. Me just playing that on the keyboard. It's quite interesting. But yeah, that's Grains of Sand. Super straightforward. Master channel, it's got quite a lot on it to make that sound more exciting than it is really. To try and bring it to life. I think a lot of work goes into the master to get it to sound right. turn the master processing off. So that's without any of the master processing. It's crazy. To be fair, it's just adding mainly volume. Just makes it all fuller. Probably not going to go into mastering at this on this forum, but I do cover that stuff on my YouTube channel. No, I have this master chain which I use on pretty much every track. Sorry, Anyway Music. Did you master this one yourself at the end or through an engineer via Anjuna? No, I mastered it myself. All the tracks I did myself using this exact master chain actually. That's yeah, I've got Tube Tech, Glue Compressor, Tube Tech. This blue tone is really, really cool. It's got it just basically adds character. You can see I'm not doing too much with it, but even just having it on just adds some sort of vibe. Creates like some sort of saturation. Similar to what the next plugin's doing, which is the Oxford Inflator. The Oxford Inflator sits after the Tube Tech. And it adds, again, character. Just brings up the lows, squashes things together, does unknown stuff, to be honest. Even the manual doesn't tell you what it does. It's just one knob. You've got a few knobs, but simple stuff. Just dial it in when it sounds good. After that, I go into Pro MB, which is a fab filter, multi-band compressor. Just really like delicate compression across all the bands to just keep things in check, really. So I've got one MB and then I go into another MB. So 2 MBs back to back. This one's just targeting the high end. Just to kind of dampen the highs and ensure that they're consistent so you can get it nice and loud, basically. I've got Soothe 2 on a preset called This Great Song Is Even Greater. So why would you not have that on the track, you know? Why would it not be on? Made it even greater. After Soothe, I go into some tape emulation. I love this Slate Digital one. I've tried quite a few in the past. And I find that this Slate Digital one is the absolute best. Annoyingly, I'm having to pay like a monthly subscription to Slate just to use this one plugin because I don't use any of the others. But it's decent, so it actually creates the whole vibe. Like, you turn that off, you just lose all that high end like detail. Really, it's nice. And I've got the Air EQ boosting up the air band, adding like up like 20k, 10k to 20k. It's just adding that air there. Really like brings tracks to lives when they need it. Don't always need that, but after that is a Pro Owl. Love Pro Owl. Just doing a bit of limiting there, bringing it up to volume. And then I'm going into another Pro Owl. So it's back-to-back Pro Owls. Actually, this is not on any gain, so it's not doing anything. But sometimes if you want to get extra loud, you can do one Pro Owl and then another Pro Owl, and then you get like up to Skrillex levels of loud, like -6 dB. But for this style of music, it's probably not ideal to go super loud. Then I use this metering plugin by T-Rax to establish how loud I am, basically. And you read that by looking at this LUFS number. It's looking at, we're doing about 8.6 LUFS. So not too loud, but loud enough to be competitive. And this is also telling you a lot of other interesting information about like EQ and then spectrum and then stereo width. You've got RMS, which is a good indication of how loud you are. You've got the side volume there as well, which is cool. So yeah, don't want to get too techie, but it's good to have eyes on these things as well as your ears. And then I use Span, which is a free spectrum analysis, which is amazing. Love that one. So yeah, I've just shared the secret source there. You can buy the Slate Digital plugin saying just Space Rain Phoenix. You probably can, yeah. I need to look at that. Anyway, music, love that great chain. Thanks, man. Well, yeah, experiment with it. It works for me. I think you just got to try and build up your own master chain, but by all means, copy that as well if it works. That master chain's pretty much the same on all my tunes. Not the same processing, like I'll tweak the variables on all of them, but they, like the same plugins might add like a saturator here or a saturator there. Getting mum's credit card for Slate Digital subscription. Yeah, it's like 25 quid I think a month, which is madness. I've got the Oasis Airy Q. That's also a Slate plugin as well, which is just doing that airband. Adds just that magical high frequency that everyone speaks about. But yeah, that was Grain to Sand. To be fair, I think we've covered 3 tunes there, so we could look at Temptations as well. We've got roughly half an hour left. I think that's probably about right in terms of timing wise, to just have a quick listen and look at the second track from the EP. So the project file is still called Basic Waves. What was the meter plugin? It was T-Rax. So T-Rax metering. There, I think that's IK Multimedia. They've just released a new suite of plugins. It's a really cool metering plugin. So this is Temptations. And I actually produced this whole tune on a stream. Well, not a stream, on a video for Basic Waves. That's why the name of this is called Basic Waves. If you don't know, Basic Waves is a preset and sample production company. They reached out to me, asked whether they could send me some sounds and I'd make a track and see what happened, basically. So yeah, I ended up putting this tune together with the sounds that they sent me, and it came out really cool, really nice. And yeah, I recorded the whole thing, so you can watch that breakdown. You can watch me writing this track from a blank slate and then building it all the way up to this on YouTube. If you just search, I think it's Basic Waves MXV, you should find it. But yeah, we can have a quick look at the project. I can take you through it, give you the whistle stop tour. We'll play the track through and you can have a listen. I missed a follower, Trius. Big ups. Appreciate it. Track's called Temptations because I think it just has a little bit of a cheeky edge to it. Mysterious. In the way that Temptations are. So just to recap, we're looking at Temptations from my Sleepwalkers City EP here. Second track on the EP. You can stream it now. Temptations. Yeah, man. What's happening? Like I said, you can watch that whole thing on YouTube, like the breakdown or the building of that track as well, which is pretty cool. The recording process was actually recorded. But yeah, the kick is like all these samples are basic waves, like I was saying. So not done too much there, just taking a little bit out of the boxy frequency, 500 Hertz. But it's a great sample, great kick. Trying to think how it came together. I think probably wrote the chords first, as I usually tend to. And of course it is in Labs piano, the soft piano. I'm not sure about this new UI. Not sure about it. Yeah, those are the MIDI notes for that. It's quite dry piano actually compared to the other ones, which are quite reverby. Quite more of an intimate sound, this one. And if I remember correctly, then I added this diva layer, this synth. Not that one, not that one, it was this. Oh, this. It's kind of like distorted. Pretty cool layer. Diva this time. That's my diva skin. I'm probably going to get some put it back to default before you say anything. Oh man, not the leopard print sides. Get those off. There you go. Yeah, diva. Then I've got a little arpeggiator in diva here as well. Quite a square wave sound. Just took the same notes from the piano, chucked them in. Found a decent like arpeggiated sound. Again from the basic wave stuff. Didn't really need to do too much on it. Just kind of worked. Got some like atmosphere, some vocally vibey stuff. I just drowned this in 100% mix. 8 seconds on the room there. A big old reverb. Smother it. Yeah, we've gone over this diva sound here. What else we got? We got the bass. The bass is cool. It's made up of like 2 layers. The first layer is like a sustain. So you've got a sustain bass just kind of holding down, playing 1 note. And that sounds like this. Big chunky like saw patch, really cool. Just compressed it like crazy, just to kind of, I think it was quite like changing volume quite a lot, so I just controlled that with the compressor. Then I did more of like a pluck. You've got the 2 kind of basses interacting with each other. And that's both of them together there. I've got Saturn on the group. This brutal compressor preset is really nice. Got an auto filter just controlling the low end. Guess I'm automating that. Sidechain on the group. Bit of EQ to take the lows out, but nothing crazy. So that's the bass with the kick on its own. That sounds like this. Super groovy. These are the drums now. Got a nice like hat loop there with a little little snare in there. So a little standard shaker. Then I've added some some accents basically to keep the groove alive, make it a bit unique. Creates that groove in the got this top loop as well. It's got the clavs in there. It's got the clap in there. All basic wave stuff. We got a tie for 3rd place. No way. That's crazy, man. Anyway, music. Yeah, I entered the Luttrell remix comp. I had a little cool idea. I couldn't resist. That's sick. Congrats, man. Bit of fun. Got this little noise hat. We're getting some merch. Yes. Was that the prize? That's sick, man. Yeah, I was interested by this audio platform. Seems pretty cool. Not heard of it before. That's cool though. What a way to find out. Did that just get announced? I got creative with the vocals on here. I found this like sustain kind of mysterious. I sent it into, I'm pretty sure I sent this into my Shimmer Reverb. No way, 15 minutes ago. There you go, live and direct. I'll have to check that out. So yeah, I'm using Duck to gate it, which is cool. You set it to 16 speed and then just create a little envelope, volume envelope basically. I found these vocals on Splice. The way that you can't deny it, it basically says. I kind of chopped those out of a really long. I don't know if I could show you that, but yeah, there's the full vocal. It was like a super hip hop, not like hip hop, but like soul-y kind of vocal. And I just heard these 2 little lines. I tend to do that, like find the longer ones. Don't take the obvious vocals. Make them a bit unique. What we've got? I'm using the Source here. The Source is an amazing vocal processing plugin. So definitely worth checking out if you're into vocals. Kind of does everything that you need. Like even format shifting, like Little Alter Boy is probably an alternative to this one for that alone. But then you get, as well as that, you get compression. I think you get like a phaser. Got a stereo width here if you get there. You've got a multi-band compressor, which I've not used. You've got this delay, which does sound pretty good. This is the compressor actually. I think that's a distortion, the spice. The smoke is a reverb. So you've got like everything in there to process a vocal, apart from tuning, but probably you want to use like auto-tune or waves for that. But it's super cool, like it can create, let's see what it's doing on here. So yeah, it's doing using it for format shifting there. Good all-in-one solution. Nearing the end of the stream here, guys. Roughly 10 minutes or so left. If you've got any questions, feel free to fire over. The lead sort of comes in now halfway through. It's done in Diva. Getting the presets from Basic Waves. There's the MIDI for that one. Just automate the frequency there, bring it up. Thanks, Chronic is Hungry. Appreciate that, man. Hope you enjoy it. Be sure to let me know on Instagram what you guys think. If you can connect with me, that'd be dope. It's at MXV DJ. I'm also on Twitch, YouTube, SoundCloud. Same alias. Yeah, the lead kind of opens, so it opens up, and then I add another layer to it, basically. So it needed something to take it, like to keep the track moving on. It was getting a bit stale with just the same sound. So I added a layer to it. Added this second Atlas preset. A little bit more rougher tone to it. Just helps it punch through the mix. And that plays like a whole round of the melody. And then it goes up an octave as well on the second half. So You might subconsciously notice something's changing, but that is what it's actually changing. So like you have just the standard lead. Then we add that. And then we add the second octave. So it kind of like evolves quite gradually, just keeping things moving. And then I think we've gone over all these sounds. Piano's there. Don't think I've missed anything. There's just some like effectsy stuff, nothing too exciting. The tonal one shot here. I think that sound like interacts with the drums quite nicely throughout the tune as well. You'll kind of hear it every time it triggers, just creating a bit of a groove with the drums, which is cool. But yeah, that's pretty much Temptations. Like I said, you can check that out on YouTube. The full like building of that tune. That is Temptations. That's pretty much, I think we've covered all the tracks on the EP. Yeah, it's been quite a few months in the production process. Started making these, I think the first tune I made was in March this year. So they've all been done this year. But it's been a lot of refining, tweaking, sending it to the label, not being happy with it, sending it back. But yeah, it's a good process. I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed sharing these with you as well. Hey Pan 1. Yeah, if you guys got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer. There's lots of automation going on to keep the track moving. I often filter down the drums using just a standard low pass. It's on the auto filter in Ableton, which is cool. Doesn't need to be too complicated. Any advice for beginners who are overwhelmed with the amount of information and tools available? Yeah, I can imagine like these days there's a lot of information out there. I think get some good samples, and ironically I'm on a Basic Waves project here, but they do have some great samples to get you started. But PML, Basic Waves, Vengeance is old school. They have great like basically samples to get like kicks, like drums, some synth stuff. So you like get a solid sample library going. Don't limit yourself to just one, but probably if you wanted to start with one, and then potentially consider like a music production course, or you can use YouTube. There's a lot of valuable stuff on YouTube. It just can be hard to sift through it. And don't overcomplicate it. I think a lot of people overcomplicate the music production process, and in reality, it's quite simple. Don't get bogged down with like, how do you compress sounds? How do you, make a specific sound? I think just try and enjoy it and jam, and try not to worry too much about, the end product. Try and just have fun. And it is a long process. It's going to take you a few years to potentially be producing tracks. You can do it quicker, but depends how much time you've got free as well. It's a very time consuming process. I've been doing this for like 20 years now, almost. And it's taken a long time to get to a point where I'm comfortable and happy with it, but it's rewarding. It's super rewarding. So it's worth all the time you put into it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Don't be shied away from it. There's good resources. I guess Plugin Boutique would be a good place to find some synthesizers and VSTs. But Ableton Live, great like music production software. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that, Yono. PKMO Music is following. Appreciate that as well. Yeah, basically giving the label all the followers. FL is also good. Nah, I used to use FL for many years. I've been using Ableton for maybe 2 or 3 years now. I used to use FL for maybe 16 years before that. So I'm absolutely on board with the FL crew. Love it. But yeah, since I've moved to Ableton, I'm really enjoying it. It's much more organized. Keeps things organized. I don't have to worry about my automation going off, I'm an OG, yeah, I'm an OG. Been doing this for too long, man. But you know what? I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. I wouldn't change anything. But yeah, so I've used FL for many years, and I finally settled on Ableton because I think it's kind of just cures my OCD, to be honest with you. Okay, another FL jump ship from FL. For many years, 2 years into Ableton, yeah. 2 weeks into Ableton. Yeah, I've said that right. Ableton tips. It's not that complicated, to be honest. Just learn the shortcuts. Like, learn that you press A, you press H, you press W. You can kind of, like, if I open up, for instance, everything super wide, if I press H, it just shrinks it all back down to normal, like, standard size. That's really useful. And then if you like zoom in, you press W, it zooms you out, which is cool. So those are really useful for like just working your way around the arrangement. You can press Shift and Tab to close and open this bottom part or any MIDI clip, which is really cool. I used to use the live, this kind of session view, but I've kind of moved away from it now. I just use the arrangement. And also, if you want to learn, check out my YouTube channel. Massive plug. But yeah, I cover the whole like music production journey. I often stream from File New and just build tracks and see where it goes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And some of the tracks that you've heard tonight have actually been produced on the streams as well. So there's some knowledge there, hopefully. But yeah, I prefer easier to copy paste. Maybe. I think the arrangement is cool in FL. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it, and there's nothing at all wrong with it. But for me, the automation is easier in Ableton. I do know what you mean. You can copy values and paste values in FL quite neatly, which is convenient. Guys, it is 8 o'clock. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm gonna leave it here. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you and sharing the music. Go and have a listen to the EP just one last time. I'm gonna whack it on screen. It is called Sleepwalkers City. It's 4 tracks. And yeah, have a listen. let me know on Instagram what you think. It's at MXV DJ on Instagram. So shout out, give me a shout out there if you're enjoying it. I'd love to hear what you think. Laura Winkler, great session, appreciate it, thanks. Go eat, don't die. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna die. I had a little sandwich before, so I should be all right. Bonk is hungry. Someone else hungry, not just me. But yeah, no guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully do this again sometime. Peace out, take care, enjoy the EP.